Look how far we've come. Come on in closer, my dear children. Do you know what? We've done it. We've done it, people. This is the last review for the International Booker Boy. We started off with The War of the Poor, which apparently I'm the only person who liked it. We've made our way through, and today we're talking about the widely wanted, because it was so hard to damn find, The Employees by Olga Raven. Translated from the Dutch by Martin Aiken and produced by Lolly, who I don't think anyone has heard of, but I've had a look at their catalogue and it has a really interesting story. So if The Employees was of interest to you, definitely check out their entire catalogue. With this book being long-listed and short-listed, I think more people are naturally going to look at Lolly, and I think they're a publication that you should check out. If you've never heard of The Employees or wondering what it's about, imagine Clara and the Sun by Kazuro Ishiguro, but done well. In the 22nd century, there's a ship called the 6000. The employees of that ship are giving testimonies and they're interacting with objects, saying how they feel about it. Some of them are abstract, some of them are fairly commonplace, but most of them provide a sensory or a sensual experience. Kubrick fans, hold on to your hiney, because they ain't just humans aboard this ship. We have humanoids like the sentient Hal in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and we have testimonies that are very clearly humanoid, very clearly human. Most of them you have no idea which is which. The majority of these statements are only 1 page long, the shortest being 1 sentence, and I think the longest testimony is, hold on, because it's a big one, 2 pages. Hooey, that was a difficult one. The sole thing of interest to me in this book is the interaction with the objects. The actual plot, the conclusion, and very sci-fi tropey things are pretty meh. But I don't think Raven's purpose was about the plot. Definitely it makes it more of a traditional book, that it has a plot. But what's more interesting, which I think most people should do when you see these sort of things in books, is you look at who it's dedicated to. With thanks to Leah Gould to Hesselund for her installations and sculptures, without which this book would not exist. So guess what I did? I googled it. I'm going to talk about this briefly, but check the name out. Even just type in The Employees. It comes up on a Google page. You could do it yourself. Come on, you're not lazy. Leah's work is about sculpture, and the sculpture is predominantly done in marble. Now, marble through history has been used to embody the human form, to sculpt out what it is to be human. But Leah's objects are very abstract, they're very non-conformative, and at times when you look at her object, there's some familiarity to it. It's something that looks like it should exist, but it clearly doesn't. And we're sitting in this, not the uncanny valley, but where something just looks legit. Clearly, this is the link between the human and the humanoid characters and everything that fits in between. They look human, they act human, they speak human, but there's clearly something not human about the things that are not human. Leah's work also endeavours to bring in bondage or fetish with leather straps added on to pieces. And again, this is where this sensual, sensory experience comes in. It doesn't take a genius to Google search to realise that Olga had wrote this for one of Leah's exhibit. This exact orange features in a room of these sculptures. One focus of that exhibit was spewing up the future into the present, which is why this is set in the 22nd century but feels very modern, feels very current, and why the testaments are all out of sync as we go back and forward in time in order to understand where we are and why it has been set out that way. Without wanting to hark on and reiterate to the nth degree, Leah's sculptures are ambivalent in the fact that they look futuristic. That's a justification why Olga doesn't feel the need to explicitly state or be specific with the objects that are being spoken about within these testaments. Because this was written alongside the exhibit, the people reading these would be looking at the current exhibit. It doesn't matter what they are, it's all about the emotion that you receive from them. And also, what is it about someone else's interpretation of an object? I think with art, definitely more modern, expressionistic, abstract works, there's definitely some conflict between this is either garbage or it's the greatest thing ever. Look at Pollock, look at Rothko. There's definitely two very different modes of thought. Where this sits adjacent to this conversation is that you're listening to someone's own interpretation, their own emotional feeling. Imagine trying to explain a Rothko to someone without explicitly showing them a Rothko or telling them what a Rothko even looks like. Try it. That in itself is really difficult to do. And I suppose sometimes when people are reviewing and you haven't engaged in the medium yet, it's very difficult to express a very concrete, very distilled, this is what this thing is. This is why comparisons are always drawn. This is why sometimes we fall into hyperbole or not being able to articulate or saying, well, I think this. That topic in and of itself, if you're interested in review, criticism, or thinking about getting into it and how do you articulate something abstract as your own experience is something, The Employees is something I would definitely recommend to you, because it does the hard work without showing you what the hard work is. Olga showcases that people have very different interactions, experiences, emotional responses, and reactions to an object, but it doesn't nullify, it doesn't heighten, it doesn't lessen the actual object itself. In fact, that could just be a very human response to this book. Definitely worth the read. For me, a 7 out of 10. Go and check it out. And we've done it. We've done the whole thing. I will leave a link down below to every single review, every single one of these. This has been a fantastic long list. Can I just say I'm actually impressed wholeheartedly. It's the first time I've ever indulged. It's the first time I've ever reviewed all of a long list in regards to international translated works. But well done, Booker.